Today's a very special day here at Everyday Food because we have Aran Goyoaga from Cannelle et Vanille, one of our favorite blogs, to share a recipe with us. And I'm happy to have you here because your specialty is gluten-free cooking, right?
We're gonna make cranberry and quinoa scones, which I think will be perfect for the holidays. Yes.
And I think a lot of people are very curious about gluten-free, but don't really know that much about it. So you are the expert.
Well, thank you. Shall we start making?
Yes, I would like to.
So we have already measured a third of a cup of quinoa flour and a third of a cup of tapioca starch, which actually we can use cornstarch as well.
Well, that's good because cornstarch is a very common ingredient that most people have in their kitchens.
Have it at home. So we'll add a cup of brown rice flour. So this is Bob's Red Mill, which is one of my favorite makers of different gluten-free flours. Right. Then we'll add a third of a cup of natural sugar, natural cane sugar, a cup of quinoa flakes, and we'll measure out later a quarter cup that will be for the topping. So quinoa flakes are also sometimes a little tricky to find. So you could use rolled oats that can be just chopped in the food processor to be a little bit finer.
And if you want them completely gluten-free, you need to buy oats that are processed in a gluten-free facility, right?
Exactly.
Right. So people who have really serious gluten intolerance or celiac cannot even have anything
They should not be close to them. Add a tablespoon of baking powder.
This orange, I'm going to grate this, right? You need...
Yes, I would say half of that orange.
Half of an orange.
Yeah.
I have to do something. I feel like I haven't been doing anything. If you have a small orange, Aran suggests the whole orange.
And this is half a teaspoon of baking soda and half a teaspoon of salt. And then we're just gonna whisk them together.
So I do feel like people often are a little overwhelmed by gluten-free baking because there are so many different ingredients, but we love that we can depend on you to do all of the experimenting for us, and then we can just do what she says and it's gonna be delicious. So the orange zest just goes in, right?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
We have some fresh cranberries. So I'm gonna just process them until they're coarse. Just coarse.
You're looking for coarsely chopped.
Coarsely chopped.
Do we need to get the butter? I need the butter.
We need to grate some butter.
So this is half a cup of coconut milk mixed with 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. And what does the lemon juice do?
It just brings acidity. It works with the baking soda to leaven.
Okay. And you grate your butter, which is kind of like cutting it up into really small pieces, but more efficient, right?
Yes, exactly.
So that's 10 tablespoons. I'm going to whisk 1 egg into my half a cup of coconut milk, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, and 1 large egg.
By the way, it's full fat.
As I can see, which is so delicious. So the coconut milk that you said you get is $3.65 from Whole Foods.
Yes.
And that has just a little bit of guar gum, but no other preservatives or anything like that.
Exactly.
So it's a great product. It's a lot of butter, actually.
It is a lot of butter.
Nice
10
and rich.
tablespoons. They need butter.
They need to be, otherwise they're dry.
I just like to be able to break up the butter a little bit.
A light touch is really important in baking.
Right. It is. And then, typical, make a little well.
And you're gonna just mix it in.
Yes. And just mix it with the spatula for now. Right now, the point is just to get everything a little bit mixed. And then, so at this point, we add cranberries. Goes in here.
Festive, I like it. I love the flavors of orange and cranberry together. So good.
When you add quinoa to a sweet recipe, it almost
savories it up.
Yeah, it's not as sweet, and I love that.
I mean, I like sweet things, but not for breakfast. Like, I would like a minimally sweet breakfast pastry as opposed to something super sweet. She has barely mixed this. It's almost not even coming together, but she'll knead it on the surface and then it'll come together without being overworked.
And you know, I do roll it sometimes. You know what I love? I'm gonna reach down here. Is a bench scraper. I always love to just
That's another tool that pastry chefs use all the time, and they feel like are underused by home cooks because they really...
They do help you.
They also help with cleanup.
Yeah, just bringing ingredients.
Up and moving things around.
You don't want to knead the flour and the butter too much, but as you feel it, it starts to get sticky and moist. That's the point you want.
You don't want it to get overly sticky, but you need that to happen in order for it to hold together. Right?
Yes. Okay, Sarah, so this is the dough as after we just brought it together. Kneading sounds a little bit more like bread.
Too aggressive?
Aggressive. So we don't want to knead like bread or sourdough bread, but feels sticky and moist. It's not so floury anymore. We're going to dust the bottom with a little bit of the brown rice flour and a little bit of the top. And because there aren't a great amount of gums in here, they're not going to rise like a regular scone. So we want to cut them pretty tall. So you don't want to like, I like
Skinny,
scones
flat.
to be,
You don't want it to be like a biscuit.
Exactly. So I want a thick 3/4 inch. So I'm just going to roll it a little bit.
Okay.
And you could do this by hand. You don't need a rolling pin, but just patting it. And I like to move it around. So I think
We're good?
I'm going to just go a bit skinnier, but it's good. This is about a 2-inch cookie cutter. So we are going to dip a little bit in the brown rice flour so it doesn't stick to the dough. And cut out pieces. And as you see,
They're
I would
already
say this
thick.
is about an inch.
Yeah.
And they'll stay like that. They won't rise a lot more. And we can re-roll this dough once more, twice. What's
So-
going to happen is the butter is going to, and the flour are going to get mixed too much, and they become harder.
Dense.
Denser, yes.
Yeah.
I like gluten-free scones to be a little bit smaller, so they don't fall apart. The larger the surface, the more they just crumble apart. So
Teeny tiny scones are better.
gluten-free works well when it's small.
These need an egg wash, so we have one more egg. Whisk. Whiskey, whiskey. Shininess and stickiness.
Yes, and we'll top them with a little bit of coarse demerara sugar in the raw, and a little bit of quinoa flakes, about 1/4 cup.
What I really love about your recipes is it's slightly healthier, more wholesome, and also gluten-free at the same time,
yeah, and
right?
it's more for flavor too,
Yeah.
and texture. And I'm big into texture. You know,
Yeah.
sweet, salty, soft,
Crunch.
creamy, and crunchy.
Yeah.
Combination. It could be creamy and crunchy at the same time, sweet and salty. And I like playing around.
It is playing.
Yeah,
and
it's
she's
playing
doing the
with
work for
ingredients.
you guys, so listen to her because she spends a lot of time thinking about this stuff. So a little bit of the
The
sugar
sugar.
and a little bit more quinoa flakes also, just for crunch.
And they look good.
You know, I always say you eat with your eyes first.
Yes.
Do I always say that? I'm not sure. I'm saying it now.
That's it. We have the oven preheated at 400, and it's hard to say how long they will take because it depends on the oven, but I would say about 18 minutes.
Check after 15 minutes just to make sure that they're not done.
And also the important thing with these ones is once they come out of the oven and they're hot, although you're tempted, I'm always tempted, you should let them cool down because they are very delicate when they're still hot.
Yeah.
So they need to be
Cool.
yeah, to pick
All
them
right,
up.
I'll put them in the oven. So we have our cooled scones here, as well as a copy of Aran's book, which you guys all should go out and get. It's called Small Plates, Sweet Treats, My Family's Journey to Gluten-Free Cooking, and it's full of delicious gluten-free recipes like this delicious
Like this
scone,
one.
and lots of other stuff too, not just desserts, but all kinds of delicious stuff. And Aran took all the pictures, and they're really pretty. And also you should go follow her blog, etc., etc. And I want to
Thank you,
taste.
Sarah.
Oh, well, I mean, I believe it and I mean it. Here are the
Shall we eat
delicious scones. I want to try one.
I can't wait to hear what you think.
I think I know they're going to be delicious. They're delicate and nutty,
A little crunchy on top.
crunchy, and the cranberries are really nice and tangy, just like we were talking about earlier. Delicious scones, great recipe, excellent guest. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Sarah.
We had a great time. Go out and buy this book. Hi guys, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to click here if you want to subscribe and click over here if you want to continue watching more great videos like this.